Great. Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to the Elliott Wave News channel by Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul. And we are here house full, and more participants are probably trying to get in, but I'm so sorry we have limited seats and I can't take everyone on this webinar. We are going to discuss the topic on how to select momentum stocks in the current bear market which is ongoing. This is a bear market, mind you. This is not a bull market. It's a bear market. I'm going to touch base upon that. How do you select stocks during such bear market for buying opportunity? How to look at the markets? How to go about it? What do we expect in the next week to happen? And lot of those things. Uh, this is going to be available even on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe on the YouTube channel at the rate Kyal Ashish, so you keep getting the alerts. Follow me on Telegram, which is Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul or Elliott Wave Strategy. You can do that, and you keep getting a lot of articles and research there. And you can also join us on the Twitter. My Twitter handle is at the rate Kyal Ashish. You can tweet. I keep responding a lot of queries, doubts, and everything over there. Before I start, for any queries, doubts, you can reach out to us on 99204 22202. And for the next week, we are doing Master of Waves, which is Elliott Wave, Neo Wave, and time cycles. I'm going to combine all of those things together. It's going to be fabulous. 2 days of session I'm going to do, and you are going to learn a lot. Before the training itself, I'm sharing 6 hours of Elliott Wave video links. Whoever registers, it's just 1 week to go now for that training, and I'm extremely excited to see each one of you there for that training. Now let me talk about the markets, how we see it, and what's going on in the markets. Nifty had been going all over the place over past many days. You can clearly see, if you have been following me on my research wavestrategy.com, you will be able to see I'm publishing a lot of research, and you can clearly see how Nifty has performed, how amazingly it has gone from the way on the downside, right from 11,500 odd levels. Why 11,500? I'll show it on the chart. Not 12,430. I would say 11,800 odd levels, back to the downside towards 7,511. Now the question is, was it predictable that we are going towards 7,511 when we were at 12,000? No. But was it predictable that we were for sure going down? Not for sure, no. But it was on the probability of 95%. I made a statement early in January, starting February, we are headed for a crash. We will start a bear market. It was published on 11th of Feb. And then later on in March, we are headed for a bear market, which is comparable to 2008. I was wrong again, because the bear market is not comparable to 2008. It became comparable to 1987. And in my past videos, I have explained it very much in depth. So I'm not going to go that road again. What I'm going to share across right now, if you can check out my screen, you can probably see it over here. Let me just share across. Okay. If you can check, I'm going to share across some methods on what's happening with Nifty, and then I'm going to share across how do you select a momentum stock during such scenario. Now we have some momentum services. I have not given any calls on momentum when we were falling this sharply, and we did not even recommend any multi-bagger stock, because when we started the crash, I very clearly said, if it's going to be 2008, I'm not going long on anything right now. And it was a fabulous trade setup. We continued to move down very sharply, and we had continued to move till the point of 7,511. What is very interesting to see is now at the low, which was formed on 24th of March. If anyone remembers the date, when did our Honorable Prime Minister came and announced the lockdown? Can you remember that date? Anyone who remembers the date? When was the lockdown announced in the market by Prime Minister in India? On 23rd. So 23rd was the announcement, 23rd night, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? He announced that we are going for a 21 days of lockdown. 23rd. Can you see the chart on when was that date? 23rd, is it? Okay, zoom the chart. Okay, let me zoom the chart. It's not visible. Are you able to see the chart now? Okay, so 23rd was the announcement by the Prime Minister for 21 days lockdown, and India is headed for the most sensitive phase with respect to the coronavirus that we are seeing now. On 24th, we opened gap down. No, we opened flat. We went and made a low of 7,511 that very day. The market opened the next morning. We made a low of 7511 and we reversed back sharply from there. Can you see that? After that, we reversed back sharply on the upside. And this reversal came at the time when things were just too shaky. That's interesting because market formed a low or a bottom on the announcement of 21-day lockdown. Don't you think logically this is not making sense? If something is locking down for 21 days, the country is locked down for 21 days, what about the economy? What about everything else? How is the GDP not going to be affected? How is the company's profitability not going to be affected? Where is the economic growth going to take place? The GDP is going to be the slowest growth in what, 25 years or maybe more? And we formed the bottom at 7511. That's interesting. That's not making sense from someone trying to look at the news and trying to trade the market. Post that on 23rd of April, if you remember, 3rd or 4th of April, we there was an announcement, not 3rd of April, I think just 4 days back, there was an announcement on 5th of April that there is a possibility many of the state governments are requesting for the lockdown to be extended further. And that's why we are not opening on 14th of April, which is the lockdown. I think it's going to be pushed further back for at least 15 days if we are lucky, or maybe a month if we are very lucky. Why I say that is this: during this period of lockdown, I know there is a lot of hindrances to everything that we are doing, but during this period, you have all the possible time in the world that you always wanted to have. You can probably do a lot of things. So I'm not going to give you any gyan on that. But what I'm saying is you have all the possible time to study the markets, to look at certain methods, to look at Elliott wave, which you always ran away with. Why? Because you found it complicated and you had no time to apply it. Now you have these 21 days or maybe more to apply it. Do that. I am here to help you out. If you want to build on your Elliott wave, I will ensure you have become the best of the Elliotticians. That much I can probably communicate. You just need to have an open mind and an alert state of interaction. If you are sloppy and lethargic, nothing will work for you. But if you are alert and ready to accept what I am saying with an open mind, I will ensure you get Elliott wave, Neo wave, and whatever I'm talking about. So the case in point is 7511 was the low. Post that, we continue to move higher. Then again we came down. Again there was an announcement there is a possibility of an extend of the lockdown, and we are not doing that well. And see the rally which we have seen, see the close which we had on a Thursday at 9111. So Nifty has rallied from 7500 towards 9111. More than 1500 points of movement has happened post the lockdown announcement. That is very interesting because markets are not looking what is happening right now. Markets are looking forward. This is known as discounting the future. It's trying to gauge what's going to happen in future. The fall already discounted a lot of things, and this fall has actually come not as a surprise, because if you look at a monthly chart, I'll show you one simplest thing. If you believe the events move the market, look at this movement. If someone understand RSI, if not, that's also okay. Can you see this is below this high, this is below this high, this is below this high, and can you see this is above the prior high, this is above the prior high? This indicated that markets were moving up with a very slower speed. The speed of movement was reducing. It's like driving a car. You were driving at 80 kilometers per hour, suddenly you are driving at 60. Now you are driving at 20 and bang on. You then reverse back sharply with a bang That top was formed, in fact, in January itself. Forget about the event of coronavirus. That came in India much later. We topped out already in January itself. We topped out on 20th of Jan. 12,430 was formed, and we reversed back on the downside. Now that we are in coronavirus situation, which is very sensitive and very much in with the people who are probably suffering from it, it's not an easy thing to talk about also. But we found a low as soon as we are in that zone of the most sensitive phase where economy is already derailed, and we have formed a low on Nifty for time being. I'm not saying we are headed again for a bull trend. For a time being, we have formed a low right now. Now that is something which chart communicated. Do not look at the news or the events or the media. It's not going to help you. What you have to see is the chart, not the number of people who are suffering from the virus is going to help you. It's not going to help your trading. You, if you daily go and check the math, 2,000 people are probably in US every day. They are being dying because of this. So it's not an easy thing on humanity, but we have to live with it. The best way to live with it is to probably stay back safe in home and apply methods that we always wanted to do. Now that we have formed a low here, we open with a gap up on the market. How do we know that the markets are going to go up when we were at this point of time? That's the question you should ask yourself. How do we know that the markets have formed an important low and are heading higher despite of the news or the events? The only way you can predict it is by using Elliott wave. That's what I do, and that's the only tool which is helping me to be in the direction of the market trend, to take the trades well in advance when everyone is super bearish. At 11,800, when I said that we are headed for a crash in a bear market, people never listened to me and they wanted to buy. Now at 8,000, when Nifty crossed 8,200, 300, I published in my daily research. Please go and look at it. We are going long. Check with the mentorship batch. Current mentorship batch has every 3 hours on a Saturday, and they will tell you we have been bullish as soon as 8,300 was taken, or I said we will be going higher in the market. A low is formed if we are not breaching certain levels, and we moved that exactly well. So Elliott wave is helping us to predict those things. So what is the wave pattern and wave structure? Let us try and understand that. Uh, if you are looking at this entire movement on the downside, there is a pattern which is a 7 leg correction. We had A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. No, I'm not teaching you here A, B, C, D. I'm teaching you a pattern. It's a 7 leg correction. Post that G completion, we saw a pullback on the upside, which was faster compared to this fall, which indicated something is for sure over at the lows. And then we started seeing an overlapping down move in the form of wave B. What we are witnessing right now is wave C, which is taking prices higher. Next, Nifty is moving anywhere between 300 points right now. In that case, if you have to place your stop loss, you need to at least have 200, 300 points of stop loss for your positional trades. For intraday, you need to have at least 100, 150 points of stop loss. That's why 2 days back when I generated a Nifty buy call, I kept at least 100, 150 points stop loss, because otherwise it's just too fast to probably capitalize on. And not every move you will be able to capture. Understand that. People want that 300 points move daily. You can't really capture everything. There has to be a specific setup. Markets can go 500 points daily, but is there a setup? There is always a risk associated. Try to understand. You will come across with people talking 100% probability. For sure, this is how it's going to move. There is no risk, 100% guarantee. These are all fake things. I'm again repeating, there is nothing as such which is 100% guaranteed, because do you know whether you are going to survive tomorrow or you are going to live tomorrow? We don't know that. I don't know for myself what's going to happen tomorrow, and the situation is only getting uncertain. So how we will know what the markets are going to do tomorrow with 100% probability? No. You can still say with 95% probability, 80% chance, 60% chance, but you can never say 100%. There is always a risk associated which you need to evaluate. Is the risk reward favorable for going longs? That you have to evaluate. And that's how you need to look at the overall Nifty trend, because during a bear market, majority of the stock will move in direction of the Nifty. I'm again repeating. For selecting a momentum stock, you need to first understand the trend of the Nifty, because these stocks will go up only if Nifty goes up. I'm not saying Nifty goes up by 1%, but the stock can go up by 10%. However, if Nifty goes down by 3%, the stock will not go up. Most of those stocks, not all, most of the stocks. So chances of you being right in selecting a momentum stock is only after you have realized what is the trend of Nifty for the day or for the week. That is the most important thing that you need to understand. Now that we know that the overall trend for Nifty is up, till what level? The easiest way to do is to know the wave pattern, draw a Fibo retracement. Now you have certain levels that will show up on the screen. These are the levels which you have to keep a watch on. If we cross that level, then yes, we might be headed much higher. And you have to probably look at this in a very, very systematic fashion. You don't look at it randomly. So Fibo theory is applicable only and only along with wave theory. I don't see how to apply Elliott Fibonacci without Elliott wave. So I think Fibonacci is the most important thing. Next, once now you know the trend of the market, how do you select a stock which is going to be in momentum? By momentum, I mean, see, simple things. People think that everyone talks about momentum on media also, but what do you understand by that? That's the key, right? As I said, momentum is nothing but the speed with which you are driving a car. Are you driving it at around 40 kilometers per hour? I would not say speed, I would say change in speed. Now you are driving at 40, now you went to 80 kilometers per hour. There is a change in speed. That's the change in momentum. Earlier, stock was rising, say any stock, say for example, Divi's Lab was rising by 50 points. Now it's rising by 100 points. Now it's rising by 200 points. That's the momentum. That's what we call is the momentum of the market. That's what we call the momentum of the stock. Let me now share across an example, or I would rather say, let me share across a classic way of looking at how to select the sector before you select the stock. So we selected the stock, we selected the index. Now we know the index trend overall is what. Before I move on, you need to do one most important thing. Draw the channel. Is there a space? This is the channel lower trend line. I'm not sure if you have gone through my Master of Technical Analysis video, which we conducted last week, and it was fabulously received. So in that, I've explained all of these things. Look at this channel. This is the channel. Is there a room on the upside? It looks like yes, as of now. I'll draw one more. This is the resistance level. This is an hourly chart of Nifty. Is there a room of upside? Yes. You might look at it, अरे इतना ही तो ऊपर जाना है, कहाँ space है? No. Look at the levels. What is this level? This level is 19,350. This is the resistance zone, 19,350 to 19,550. That's the zone. So we still have room of 200, 300 points on Nifty. Possibly, yes. We have that room. I'm not saying you go long on Nifty on Monday. Please don't do that. This is educational. Now, nowhere I'm recommending any trade, because I'm not talking about the risk right now. Any trade comes with a risk. You need to know a stop loss before you enter a trade. If you don't have a stop loss, you are just gambling. Don't do that. I'm not recommending it's going up. I'm saying there is a room in the channel. So that's a learning thing. Okay. Now I know there is a room. Let me now share across a classic chart from my monthly research, which is published now, which shows Nifty comparison chart. And guys, I'm going to share and give a credit to all my mentees from the current batch. They have been fabulous in helping me preparing this kind of a chart and working on these. So I need to tell they have done fantastic work. They have learned it extremely well. This Fab, the mentorship batch started in Fab. It's the best time of starting mentorship. We started in Fab. I told them we are crashing at 11,800. and boom, we are there. So they are a live testimonial, I would say, for whatever. So they know it well, and they are in this session right now. So this is prepared by them. I only guided them how to go about it, and then I'm using a lot of things from there. So over here, we can clearly see what you are seeing is the Nifty chart in the form of bars. Okay. What I did is I told them to use 20th of Jan as the starting date. Why? Because that is when Nifty topped out. And from there, we will compare various sectors, how it has performed compared to Nifty from that point of time. So from that point of time, we can see Nifty is down by what? 27%. Let me zoom in. Okay, are you able to see the chart? Nifty is down by what? 27%. This is this was published on 8th of April. As on 8th of April, 27% down. Compared to that, relatively, Nifty Pharma Index is up from that point of time. Can you see the outperformance compared to Nifty? It's huge. Nifty Pharma Index is here right now, touching the 52 weeks high level. Nifty FMCG is here. This is 8th April, guys. Suppose that you have already seen it going much higher now. Look at the stocks. I'm going to talk about that. And look at the other stocks. Nifty PSU banks is negative 47%. A normal human tendency is what? I will buy the PSU bank. Don't do that. You need to go in the direction of the trend, straight in the direction of the trend. You can't deviate from the trend. The trend is down for PSU, metals, real estate. Don't go long on that. Go long on pharma, FMCG, and the outperformer sector. From here, now you know the momentum is in the stocks of pharma, FMCG, IT to some extent. Now you need to select stocks from that sector. How do you select stocks from that sector? So let me go to one more portion of my research. Over here, there are pharma stocks compared to the Nifty Pharma Index. Can you see this is the index of Nifty Pharma, and from there we are comparing with the pharma stocks. So we can clearly see Cipla is outperforming, Reddy is outperforming compared to the pharma index also. This is only from the large cap. If you place here stocks like Biocon, Cadila Healthcare, Divi's Lab, you will see all of them drastically higher compared to Nifty Pharma, which means that Nifty Pharma is outperforming. Within pharma, these stocks are outperforming. Now that I have a bigger picture in place, now I know the stocks to select from which sector, where the maximum momentum is right now. Then I go to a pharma sector and start looking at individual Elliott wave patterns of those stocks. Let me do that. Let me share across a research on which I published just 3 days back on Divi's Lab. Let me share that. Why did I publish that? So if you go and check, just give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. If you can see my screen, you can see Divi's Lab being published on 8th of April. It was in the afternoon, but we gave the call on 7th itself. Published the report on 8th in the morning. And you can clearly see the overall pattern of the chart. Now this is Divi's Lab. Fourth complete, fifth starting. Within the fifth itself, we knew 1 and 2 done and the third starting. At what level? 2062. Can you see that? You know how much Divi's Lab touched yesterday? 2,467. I think it was 20% up in 2 days. It just rallied crazily. Let me share across, just give me 1 second. Let me share across the short-term chart which I published on my website, wavestrategy.com. So if you go to wavestrategy.com, you will find a lot of research over there also. Let me share across that. Just give me 1 second. So this is the website wavestrategy.com. If you are not knowing me, I am Ashish Kyal, and this is the training on Master of Waves that we are going to do in 18th and 19th April, explaining all of this in much detail. So you can simply click on the banner. You will see all the details over there. So do that much earlier because we will share the Elliott Wave video links, which you have to go before the training itself. Okay, let me go to the research now. You go to the free articles and go to the stock section. Once you go there, you will see the stock. You click on read more, and this is the stock. Let me share the chart. Okay, so this is the chart. This is the learning series by Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul on how to select momentum stocks. I'm not going to share across which is the next momentum stock. For that, you can probably get access to the research report. So I'm not here to give recommendations. Now, you have seen the overall trend. How did I select? I did not select it from one research. I looked at my monthly research from where I know the sector outperforming and the stocks outperforming. Post that, I looked at the Divis Lab bigger Elliott wave structure. I know it's a fifth wave which is starting. Post that, I'm looking at the daily structure and the hourly structure on the chart. So look at this chart now. I think this is an hourly chart, and you can clearly see third was complete here, fourth complete here, one and two done, and this is the third which is starting on the upside. These third targets were derived using FIBO levels, using the pattern target, lot of those things again. At what 2065 was the buy given, and look at it. Look at the explosion that happened. We touched that 2467 level on which date? I think this was just on 9th of April. The call was given on 7th. Just 9th it touched that. Less than 2 days. And that was simply fabulous. And the entire explanation, you can probably go through it and see on what basis the call was given. And this simply shows how amazing this was given, not based on anything else but certain methods from my Master of Technical Analysis, which I did, and Elliott wave, Neo wave sessions. So let me summarize on how did I select. So is this the only way to select stocks? No, there are many ways in which you can select stocks. So let me just share across. The first thing you have to do is to look at what is the overall trend of the Nifty. Okay, let me share my ME broker screen again. What is the overall trend of the Nifty? It's right now positive. How do I know? Unless you see a close below prior day low. I know most of my students are bored with the same thing I am talking for from even in the mentorship batch from the first day. Unless I see a close below prior day low, trend is not changed. The first basic rule which I've explained then. And we know that the prior day low right now lies where. So we know the trend and what should be the stop. Once I know the Nifty trend, what is the pattern? How much pullback am I expecting? Is there a room? Yes. Post I have seen that. Then I go to the, let me share my another screen again. Post seeing that, I'm going to find out where is the overall trend of the market by looking at my monthly research. The pharma sector outperformed. Within the pharma sector, which stocks outperform? So this is what I do. Post that, then I go to my individual stocks, looking at the overall bigger trend within the stocks. What is the overall trend of the market? So and then overall trend of the stock. The stock is starting the fifth wave. Post that, the fifth wave is starting. I am going to the smaller degree time frame. What is the overall Elliott wave pattern? 1, 2, and the third starting. And that's how we select the stocks for momentum. I think that is how you should do it. If you're not doing that, you are using other methods which are brilliant. But if you can incorporate this method, your trading is going to take a huge leap. Is it always going to work this way? No. Since we are in a bear market, a smaller decline on Nifty, by smaller I mean 200 points decline on Nifty, the stocks will stop rising and start falling. The moment Nifty reverses trend, stocks will reverse, because the correlation in a bear market between stocks and the index is nearly 1. In fact, the correlation between Dow Jones and Nifty will be nearly 1. Correlation, not the magnitude of the rise or the fall. So you need to be very careful. You need to reduce your risk. You need to understand position sizing, money management, and lot more if you want to trade. I'm not saying it's complicated. What I'm saying is this is how it works. Do not fall in prey of people who tell you there is 100% guarantee. There is no guarantee over here. It's just a systematic risk that you might have to take to make some money out of sitting home. Is it? So this is how it is that I do. Any questions? Okay, I can see some chat. Vishal Sancheti, what about oil and gas? Vishal, I think you need a lot of things ready-made. I am not going to give you ready-made. You have enrolled and registered for the master of waves, you need to have patience in market, right? If you don't have patience, you can't make money. And do not expect, see, I'm going to be very blunt. I'm not the guy who is going to give you everything spoon feeding. I'm going to push you towards learning. So I'm not going to give you everything spoon feeding. If you want that, take my research, you can get it from there. Fee structure for mentorship. The next mentorship batch starting, Sanjay, is in June 2020, and my team will get in touch with you. You can probably drop a message or an email, and they will get in touch with you. How to compare all pharma in one chart? Nana, I just showed na, how to compare all of those things. Is there an AFL for Elliott Wave? No, there is no AFL. You do it your way by hand. Do not, I don't prefer using direct code. I use my hand drawing Elliott wave. I do Neo wave. So the training, let me just explain. Since a lot of you are asking about it, let me explain about what is a Neo wave. So for mentorship, you can go here on the website. If you can see my screen, let me just share. Yes. If you can see my screen, the mentorship is here. June 2020, we are starting the next batch. Discipline is what we want to say, and you'll get a lot of info. An existing mentorship batch, I put all your kind words over here. Nilesh, yours is here. Rakesh, Hardik, a lot of people. So all of them, I mentioned it here as a testimonial. So these are very kind words from people. And Nilesh, I am assuming you are attending 2 MOT and 2 MOW. We have written it there. So I'm assuming you are doing that, right? And the mentorship is ongoing. So that's fantastic. So, okay. Got little reading on excess of Glenn Neely's mastering Elliott wave. Do you also suggest plotting chart like this? Absolutely, Sazi. You are there for MOW, Sazi. I'm going to tell you how to plot a chart as per Glenn Neely's. So have patience. We will do that there. And is wave one subdivided in Divi's lab? I think yes. Not one. One was rise, and two was like a complex correction. Then the third starting with Utkarsh. So that's how it is done. So here you get the mentorship detail, and if you go to my homepage and go to this banner, you will get all the details about the online training on Elliott wave, Neo wave, and time cycles. So all of those things will be mentioned there. The topics are here on those things, and how you can register. You can simply go here and pay now, and you can register uh, from here on. So that's how you have to do it. And yes, any other questions that you might have? Okay, so one thing that I'm going to, since we have a full batch right now, what I'm going to share across anyone who wants to register for MOW training, the early bird has actually completed and ended on 20 on what I think 5th April. Yes, the early bird was 22 plus 18% GST. It is now over, but we will extend it for you. Otherwise, you have to end up paying 26 plus GST, 18% here. Okay, post 5th April. But since you are attending this webinar right now, for you guys, you can still register under the early bird offer of 22 plus GST for the MOW training. But if you do it in 24 hours, so my team will take care of that. I'm not the good person over here to talk about these things. You can probably take it offline with my team, and they will be probably helping you on that front. Okay, so I'm okay to take a few more questions, and then we'll wind up for the day. And by the way, we do have a mentorship class tomorrow. Guys, you sleep when I am live at 10. You guys are just waking up. You need to be alert before I join in. So I will not start unless each one of you are there in the batch. So you need to ensure, Nilesh, Rakesh, Vikas, all of you need to ensure you are there in by 10 o'clock ready and all join and all alert before I am there. So just ensure that. Okay, any other questions, please? Fantastic. Then I think how to come conclusion that it is wave one, not wave A. Utkarsh will discuss in the new wave class, Elliott wave next week. Faster retracement, two stage of faster retracement. You will be able to find out that it's in the when in the bear market would end. Dinesh, the bear market is going to be going on for some time. I am not, so in the monthly research, I've given the time frame when we are seeing an end to it. I don't want to tell you something which you might just believe or not believe because I said it. I want you to see it on the chart and then draw conclusions for yourself, because then the conviction is much higher. If I tell you bear market is going to end in 6 or 8 months time, you will say okay, you will forget about it. But if you see it in the chart, in the monthly research, you know why I am telling you this, and then you will take corrective actions to trade or invest that way. Time frame, I look at the daily one, I look at the hourly one, I look at lot of things. So that's the time frame for division left. The chart on the website, you can, I think that's hourly one, you can go and check. Okay, and anything else? Any other? How to start learning from scratch for your course? First, what course I should take, and then to next order. Okay, Jaya Balan. The best way to start learning is to first start from scratch. If you register for the BMW program, BMW is become market wizard, or rather, I would say Jay Balan, if you register for Mentorship June 2020, I think that's the best way, because then you get to attend MOTA, which is Master of Technical Analysis. You get to attend MOW, which is Master of Waves. That's the BMW program. Plus the application of this we are going to do for 3 months, every Saturday for 3 hours. We will do it, not every, I think 3 Saturdays in a month. And we will see how it goes. We are going to discuss a lot of things, lot of applications. So the applications, so that's the best way of doing it. So register for mentorship. That's the best way of going about it. Books on Wave. One of the book is by Robert Precher, Elliott Wave, internationally published. A book, Key to Market Behaviors. That's the book for Elliott Wave. I use NeoWave. Glenn Neely's work is masterpiece, but the book is not easy to understand, and that's what I'm going to explain in the next two, 18th and 19th of April. Someone who has no clue about markets wants to attend that training, you can register for that training as well. I will share across a few videos with you before the training, which will get you at par for attending that training. So don't bother about that. Also, you can, and I'm also writing a book. I need to complete it by 15th. I am editing it along with a co-author of mine, and that book will be out in few months, which will be on end to end, including wave theory. So I'm hopeful that it works well. Uh, okay, 4 p.m. But because of net issues, logged off and not able to log in. Rakesh is saying we need to allow more than 100 participants. Rakesh, I do agree with you, but then it becomes chaotic, is what I understand. If there are so many people, then I'm not sure if I'll be able to address the queries or questions. So that's why we need to keep it limited for now. Let's see later on. Yes, Nana, I will give you complimentary from my side. So please remind me. It will be. I will sign it and give it to you. For new investor to enter the market, is it time for new investors? No, this is time for the traders. This is the trading market. This is time for traders. Yes, investor can enter by picking up, cherry picking certain stocks. So you can probably refer our multi-bagger research. By multi-bagger, it's not going to go 100% in a year. I don't know. It might take 2-3 years. But what I know is if the market stabilizes, those are the stocks which will drastically outperform. Will all stocks outperform? No. A few of them will underperform, will not go up, will fall by 30%, but the few others might go up by 100 or 150 or 200%. I don't know how much. That's how it works. Yes, Elliott and Neo will be different things. More low in Nifty, Shashank, please refer the research, daily research report I'll mention, or the monthly one. Yes, Ganeshji behind me. Thank a great observation, Ravi. I'm not at home. I'm not in office. I'm remotely working right now, and that's how I'm doing it.